Airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Oregon football.
Our connection, our toughness, our growing through moments, our DNA traits showed up at the end.
10, 5, Bonix, give me 6, pressure, boom. Dorlus got to him again.
I just know how hard our guys work, and you love when they work hard, they get rewarded.
To the 10, 5, 6. Bucky Irving, can he get 3 on his feet? He does. Franklin scores. Ferguson turns and gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Oregon. Touchdown, Ducks.
It was exciting for me to see our guys go out there and execute. I'm proud of them. I love them. So really grateful for that moment.
This is the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Today's broadcast is also brought to you by Country Financial Insurance, Protect What Matters, and by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks! Drink Pepsi. Now let's go to the Country Financial Studios and talk Oregon Duck football.
Boy, do we have a lot of football to talk about this week, too. Hi, everybody. I'm Jerry Allen with Jorgie. The coach is in the house. It is our Toyota Coaches Show. And, Coach, congratulations. Didn't see big enough word to say what your team did on Saturday in all phases of the game. What played?
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, it's a fun game. I think we're excited about the next one.
Already looking ahead. Look, I know you, after you watched the video, you found some things you liked. You obviously always find some things you don't like, and we'll talk about some of those coming up. But overall, were you really appreciative, or did you like the way your team competed hard on that game?
Yeah, I mean, I think our compete's always going to be hard. I don't think you'll ever have to question that about this team. You know, the things I was more excited to see is we talked about going to this game and walking away. Did we play clean? You know, we didn't have a lot of we didn't have any pre-snap, post-snap penalties. Had a couple aggressive penalties within play that we need to eliminate, those two. Right, but outside of that, being able to play a clean game was a big goal. And then the efficiency and operation of our coaching staff with our players, I was really satisfied with that.
And you talked about it after the game, the standard you guys hold yourself. That's part of the standard, isn't it? Playing
Absolutely.
Clean, everybody on the same page. When guys come in and out, young, third-year guys, whatever they are, man, they were on point. The standard was high.
Absolutely. That's always the plan. Play to our standard. It doesn't change for opponent or change by week.
You talked about your team and how proud you were of the efficiencies of the coaching staff of the team. Will Stein was on the sidelines. Your OC called the game from the sideline. And there had been a lot of talk coming into this season about the play clock and running after first downs. Was that a decision made because of that? And, by the way, I don't remember any time in that game where your offense was even anywhere near late getting a playoff.
Yeah, no, I mean, each coordinator sees the game a little bit differently and where they want to call it from. And Will feels really comfortable calling it from the field. I think he likes being able to be hands-on with the players, in between series from the sideline. So to me, that's a little bit more of coach's discretion. Where do they feel like they can get it? And when you have good coaches like we do, you get great information from the box. You can utilize that.
How was the communication between the coaches first game-wise? I mean, a lot of coaches obviously here second year with you, but some others brand new this year.
Yeah, we practice this so much in practice. We wear headsets a lot in practice and communicate just like a game, in practice a lot. So I think it wasn't a surprise to us to see it go smooth.
What would we be hearing? I mean, you're the head coach, so you're up at the top, and then you have all these other voices running throughout the game. What is it you talk about?
There's a lot of things. Some of it were probably not appropriate for the radio show. No, but, in general, we want really clean lines of communication. We want to hear the personnel group. We want to get the play calls in. Any information that's really pertinent information that has to happen now, we'll make sure we communicate it now. If not, we try to hit it after the series and make notes up top and on the sideline as we get to the end of the series to discuss it.
We talked about last week, clean. Offense, defense, explosive on the offense. We'll start on that side of the ball. A lot of big plays throughout the game. The explosiveness really put Portland State on their heels right away.
Yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, we talk about week one. It's about taking care of the ball, and it's about, creating explosive plays and not giving up explosive plays. So we obviously didn't give up, a lot of explosive plays defensively, and we created some explosive plays on offense. We took care of the ball. We ended up getting a takeaway on special teams. All those things really contributed to having success in that game.
We talked about your offensive line coming into the season. New guys, some guys had experience, but haven't all worked together. But they seem to all be on the same wavelength early in that game. And for that game, Bo never got touched, never came close. They really seemed like their communications come together. Who are the keys on that offensive line for you that are making that happen so quickly in this season?
Yeah, I think there's a group of guys there. I mean, all 5 of those guys that started the game off for us are really critical. I think it starts with the center. He's the other guy that's going to be touching the ball every single play outside of the quarterback. So, Jackson getting the ball back to Bo efficiently. I think Pancho was able to have some snaps in that game as well. But we saw, several guys be able to play on the offensive line at a high level.
Do you track balance, run pass offensively? I mean, how many run plays you've had, how many pass plays? I know you can't ever predict the yards because if somebody pops a big one, that's what happens on a play. But do you track run pass balance plays wise?
More so we track success, right? We track what's successful. That's what we want to do. We never want to be, where you can take away one thing. We no longer have a strength. So we want to be a team that can do both. A lot of times you'll call a run play and the ball ends up getting passed because it's an RPO, right? And you have a heavy box, so you want to put the ball outside. But no, I think to be a great team, you have to have great balance, but we don't necessarily chart it.
Don't want to really highlight and call anybody a star of the game because there were a lot of stars. But there's one guy I did want to mention and get your input on, Ty Thompson, because I thought he stepped up, was more comfortable, more in control. From upstairs, it looked like he was a different person than last year.
Yeah, he operated really well in the system. I thought he did a great job. Did a good job replacing a blitz with a pass. Went 3 for 3 his very first series. Overall, had a really successful day. For him out there was really glad to see that, and obviously that's what we know he's capable of, right? And seeing that out on the game field was really big for him.
Yeah, you talked about expecting it. I mean, your expectation is, and his expectation is to come out, be focused, and perform.
That's right.
Bucky Irving, he's got a fairly high per carry average. I think it was that 4th down call. That play alone was just kind of amazing because it didn't look like it was designed to bounce outside. Talk about your team in that play and just how much confidence you have in them to make the right decisions.
And his vision, too.
Yeah, I think that just goes back to the efficiency. You want to be able to operate, and that's a great example of a coach making a quick decision to get the call in quickly to our players. I think they were a little bit caught off guard of where we were at on the field, going for it on the 4th down, and guys blocking well up front, and then Bucky having great vision to get to the end zone.
Had some young guys that got a lot of playing time. Wide receiver position, backfield, everything else. Dowdell, Lamar. I mean, they got some really good reps and look at times almost like veterans the way that they were playing out there. Again, that expectation of those guys.
Yeah, you have a high expectation. We had 81 different guys playing the game, this past Saturday. That's a pretty high number, right, for guys being able to come in and make an impact, which you absolutely love. There's going to be a point in this season where we don't even get to travel 81 guys to every game. So being able to get 81 guys in the game is a big piece.
Not just 81 guys, too, but a high number of freshmen or first-year players, redshirt freshmen. This is a young team in a lot of ways.
Yeah, there's a lot of young guys that are going to have the opportunity to potentially contribute. And, again, for us, development, the best way you're going to develop is to get guys in games.
So nice to play against somebody else, too, wasn't it? I'll bet. I mean, instead of practicing against yourself and beating on each other, it was just nice to get an Autzen Stadium with the crowd playing somebody else.
Yeah, playing somebody else and kind of figuring out where you're at and where you need to get stronger and where you can get better. And I think that regardless of the scoreboard, there's a lot of moments in that game where we can look at it and say, okay, this is something we really have to improve. We really want to see, enhanced down the road.
All right, a lot more to talk about. We're going to get to the defensive side of the ball and the next opponent coming up. We'll do that, obviously. It's our coaches interview. It's brought to you by Pepsi and locally owned Bigfoot Beverages, GoDucks, drink Pepsi. Coming right back here with our Toyota Coaches Show. Jerry Jorge and the coach on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. Ready for some SUV action? Drive family adventures with the Highlander. Make a splash with the RAV4. Or haul fun with the Sequoia. Check them at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Wherever you are in life, once a duck, always a duck, and that's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has helped the University of Oregon community take flight financially with great rates, lower fees, nationwide ATM access, and mobile banking. Earn more interest with remarkable checking, and show your duck devotion with a duck debit card. If you're a duck, you belong at OCCU. Go Ducks. Join OCCU. Learn more at myoccu.org/getduckdebit. Insured by NCUA.
Dear Sharp Turns, Toyota has more all-wheel drive sedans than any other brand. Get a grip in the stylish Camry, the elegant Crown, the striking new Prius, or the sharp Corolla. Get to Toyota.com already. Toyota, let's go places.
More gridiron action in 1 minute.
Gonna throw. Oh, what a play for the middle. Touchdown, Oregon.
Coming your way on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer.
In response to attacks against Asian Americans, Maddie Park raised over $250,000 to donate cab rides to the Asian community.
There is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
Support the Asian community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to our Toyota Coaches Show. Jerry, Jorge, and the coach. It is our Pepsi Coaches interview, and we're going to kind of sneak over to the other side of the ball. We didn't mention how well Oregon's offense played. I mean, modern-day record points and all that. But everybody executed. I mean, the execution of that ball game was fun, and we'll talk about that more on the defensive side. But your offense did, I don't want to say everything right, but after you
they certainly didn't do everything right.
Yeah. After watching the video, though, you had to be pretty happy with many phases of the offense and each of the guys that played in that game.
Yeah, I'm happy with our compete. You know, I'm happy with the way we competed. I'm happy with the way we executed game one. But again, the standard for us is pretty high.
And they're going to have to compete again this week with Texas Tech, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that pretty soon. What'd you like about your defense this week, Coach?
Yeah, I thought they settled in. Obviously, beginning of the game was a little bit hairier, but they popped a couple runs with a quarterback that can run. That's always an issue when you have a quarterback that can go. After that, they settled down and played really well in the second half. Tackled well. We're able to get off blocks. Those are the things we got to continue to improve on.
I was not shocked, but a little surprised when I looked at the defensive stats. Normally in a ball game, you see one guy's got 10 or 12 tackles, another one's got 9, and then they trailed out behind that. You had nobody with more than 5, and a ton of guys with 4 and 3. This team all ran to the ball really well.
Yeah, we had a lot of guys run to the ball well, and again, we played a lot of players, so you're going to see a lot of guys chipping in on that.
Yeah, how do you coach that aspect of it, though, to be disciplined, play where you're supposed to, and stay near the ball instead of taking yourself out of the play?
Yeah, we look for opportunities. When we were able to look at a couple of plays on Monday after the game was over with where we had 11 guys in the picture, right? And that's what you want as a coach. You want 11 hats on the ball. I always tell our players there's room for 11 helmets on everybody, right? So we want to get 11 helmets on each guy then when we go in for a tackle, and that's the picture you're looking for.
After the one drive you mentioned that Portland State had, I just thought your defensive line in particular played really, really disciplined football. You got to stay in your lanes with a guy like Sachere. Not let him get outside and contain, not be too wide, let him get up inside. Just thought you guys did such a good job of really spacing him out, not letting him ever really hurt you after that one drive.
Yeah, I think that's something that's going to be consistent throughout the year, having gap integrity and then guys that can get off blocks when the ball is in their gap, to be able to make plays, and we did that well in the second half.
Because you're going to see a lot of quarterbacks like that all year long, one this weekend obviously down in Texas and throughout the season.
That's right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Defensively and even offensively, there's so many formations that teams run out of the spread offense, but they're really kind of basic. I mean, it's 2 or 3 wideouts, 1 back, 2 backs. I mean, there's not a lot there, but an offensive coordinator in an offense will disguise and do a lot of things. You do that. Your opponents do that. Is it as simple looking at it from we do from upstairs, or is there a lot of trickeration going on? I mean, and Bo's the one on the offensive side of the ball that's calling that, and I'm sure you're getting the calls on the other side. But the offense looks so basic. Every team all look the same. What makes you different?
Well, watch this week, because this team we're about to play is different when it comes to formations and what they do. They create a lot of different ones, right? And really, at the end of the day, it's about communication, defensively and offensively. If you have great communication, you can do some unique things, and you can play against some unique looks.
Once you shut down the run, what did you like about your defensive backs? Because obviously the pass yards, only 74 yards total offense Portland State had in the last 3 quarters. So you were doing a lot of things but you made them one-dimensional. What did you like about your DBs?
Yeah, again,
and linebackers.
Yeah, ultimately I don't believe we got tested, down the field much. I think they changed the mode of play for them a little bit as we got later into the game. But we didn't give up any explosive passes, and that's one of the things you always look for as a coach, or where we defend in the pass. When it was thrown on the field, we had guys that challenged the ball. That's going to show up a lot more this week. We're going to get the ball thrown on the field at times, and we have to do a good job attacking it.
I'm going to go back to that, a little bit of that, the offense and the defense. Teams scout each other extensively. You know what they're doing. They know what you're doing to a degree. Do coordinators try to disguise what they're doing, even though a team has looked at your tendencies and you know their tendencies? How do you not play into what they think that you're going to do? I mean, it's a real chess match.
Yeah, it happens every single week. We spend a lot of time talking about that on both sides of the ball, changing the picture, whether it's a shift or a motion on offense to disguise something, or, an adjustment with the safeties or the linebackers in their alignment pre-snap as opposed to post-snap to create a different picture for the quarterback. So it's really important for us.
Okay, before we talk Texas Tech, we got special teams. We can't leave special teams behind. I mean, Cam Lewis got one opportunity, drilled it. Ross James, 58-yard punt. Tez was close to breaking a few punt returns by making that first guy miss and getting up the field. And then the one turnover for the game, Bryce Betcher jumps on the fumble. Your special teams were sharp when they got the opportunity, it seemed like.
Yeah, we talk about special teams being an opportunity to change the game, right? And I think in a lot of ways changed the game for us. We had some early good field position because we were getting tackles down inside the 25 on kickoff. Like you mentioned, Cam was able to hit a big kick for us. It was great to see Ross hit a big punt for us, and then the turnover on special team was huge.
You talked about using 81 players in this ball game. 81 guys got a chance to play, which leads me to say is there's still a lot of competition going on in practice. I mean, put starting lineups out, but it sounds to me like they're going to change throughout the year.
Yeah, if there's not competition happening in practice, then I'm not in the right spot. I'm not doing my job. We're going to create competition every single week. It doesn't matter who we're playing.
Enough about last week. Let's talk about Texas Tech this week, obviously, that you guys are prepared for. They do a lot of things, show you a lot of formations offensively, good defensively, too. I think sometimes the offense gets so much attention, but their defense, a lot of speed on that team.
Yeah, they're one of the fastest teams in college football. They run more plays than really anybody else in college football, but they can change the tempo as well and slow it down and execute. They create explosive passes. They're really unique in the red area when they get closer to the end zone. So they do a lot of things to challenge you. And then defensively, they apply pressure at all times, right? If you don't do a good job of identifying that, it can get you, right, for a negative yardage play.
Another kind of a dual-threat quarterback, Tyler Shuck, can throw the ball really well. They do that a lot, but he can run the ball, too, if you let him.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's an athletic player that has done a really good job for them.
Big athletic runner,
That's
too,
right.
Isn't he?
Yeah,
6'5",
good size.
235, kind of tough to defend at times.
Has anybody asked you about their big tight end?
I've heard about him a few times. Yeah,
it seems to have been a focus. I will ask you that. I mean, when you don't have somebody that big, and not just him, but in other situations where you've got a big fullback or a position player that you can't create that scout team, how do you do that?
You just play with the guys you got, and then you go out there and you create a great look, and you do a good job educating your players. Look, they put their pants on the same way as us, right? They wear their shoulder pads the same. They put their helmet on. We really don't care how big you are, right? We're going to come hit you.
You've been in a lot of big games. Teams get excited to play in games like this, don't they? Your teams have got to be excited.
Yeah, our guys are jacked.
Opportunity.
Yeah, our guys are jacked. They're ready to go play. It's fun to go on road games. I know it's not always – we love playing in Autzen Stadium, but it's fun to go on road games and go compete on somebody else's turf.
All right, we got to get another quick break in here. We'll come back and wrap it up on Texas Tech, getting ready for week number 2 here on our Toyota Coaches Show. It's our Pepsi Coaches Interview. I'm Jerry with Jorgie and the coach, and we're back with more after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
There's more Duck football around the corner.
Got him deep. He's open. He's got it. And he's gone. 10-5. Touchdown, Oregon.
60 seconds away on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, son. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Toyota Coaches Show. I'm Jerry Allen with Jorgie and the coach. Just a couple more questions about Texas Tech coming up after a successful weekend for you. Texas Tech struggle, obviously, at Wyoming up at the altitude. Now you guys will meet. It's going to be a great ball game. A lot of people looking forward to it. Defense. We haven't talked about Texas Tech defense. They return a lot of guys, and they got a big guy up front. I think Josiah Pierre, 14 tackles last week. So you're aware of these guys. Talk about their defense a little bit.
Yeah, they're really, interior D-line, something that stuck out to us watching film. They've got good edges as well, and they're really long and big, really kind of across the board. Got some disruptive players. Like I said, when they bring pressure, they don't just bring pressure. They generally get home, and they can play, really fast at times. They can execute at a high level quick.
I had a lot of questions this week, Coach, about when you travel 2 time zones away. Do you make adjustments, or do you stay on the same time you are here when you travel like that?
Yeah, we make some small adjustments, but it's just the factor of our operations are operations. So we know what we're going to do when we play a night game. We know what we're going to do when we play a day game. All those things kind of carry over week to week, and our players are really dialed into that as well.
One more thing. Somebody brought this to our attention, maybe the first time ever for me, 37 years. You played 3 long snappers in this game, which I don't know why that was important, but somebody said ask that question. So it's just an indication of how many guys you have on this team that are competing for jobs. Who is your long snapper for sure? I mean, do you have a star?
Yeah, Luke.
Competition.
Luke has certainly earned
right.
That opportunity. Has done a great job for us. But again, when you get an opportunity to create more opportunities for other guys, you're going to do that. You're going to take advantage of that.
Have you ever been asked that question before?
Never. That's a first. That's a first.
I said I was not going to ask it, and I did it. I asked it anyway. I'm sorry. Well, Coach, congratulations on week number 1. Your team executed, from our point of view, just extremely well. Not perfect, obviously, but big one coming up at Texas Tech. Looking forward to seeing you. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. We'll hit that plane, and let's go play another great football game, huh?
Let's do it. Excited.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, we're going to come back. Our Pepsi coaches interview, and Jeffrey Bassa, I think, who snuck away with a football in that game. Only 1 turnover, and he took it. We'll find out more about him. In fact, we should have asked the coach about Luke Bassa, or about Jeffrey Bassa. We didn't ask him about Luke Bassa. Well, never mind. We're back after this in the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers. Ready for some SUV action? Drive family adventures with the Highlander. Make a splash with the RAV4. Or haul fun with a Sequoia. Check them at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Wherever you are in life, once a duck, always a duck, and that's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has helped the University of Oregon community take flight financially with great rates, lower fees, nationwide ATM access, and mobile banking. Earn more interest with remarkable checking, and show your duck devotion with a duck debit card. If you're a duck, you belong at OCCU. Go Ducks. Join OCCU. Learn more at myoccu.org/getduckdebit. Insured by NCUA.
Dear Sharp Turns, Toyota has more all-wheel drive sedans than any other brand. Get a grip in the stylish Camry, the elegant Crown, the striking new Prius, or the sharp Corolla. Get to Toyota.com already. Toyota, let's go places.
Go Ducks!
It's made, turn, don't deny me the end zone. Touchdown, Oregon.
This is Oregon football from Learfield.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Oh, we're back inside the Country Financial Studio. It is the Toyota Coaches Show. I'm Joey Mac. He's Jeffrey Bassa, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so I have a confession to make for everybody. This is what, the third time that you've been in this room?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And you and I have actually never done this. I know that sounds odd, but 2 years ago on Media Day, you got interviewed by Braden Swinson.
Yes, sir, I did.
This year on Media Day, you got interviewed by Marcus Harper.
Mm-hmm.
And Marcus took a famous question, or infamous, probably more infamous question of mine. Do you remember this from earlier?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So I always ask everybody for their 2-minute life story. Now, you've really never gotten the chance to do this proper.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be able to do that right now.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
The 2-minute life story. And we're competitive. I got the stopwatch going.
All right.
2-minute life story. Jeffrey Bassa, go.
All right. Jeffrey Bassa is a kid who grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah. A kid that went to high school in Utah, middle school in Louisiana, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So, growing up, I actually never played football until my freshman year of high school, so which is a fun fact, just a little bit about me. I actually grew up playing basketball, so I was a huge hooper. But personally, never thought I was really good at it. But, yeah. So, freshman year of high school, just, fell in love with the game of football. Went to the high school tryouts. Shout out head coach, my high school head coach, Matt Rickers. Went to the high school tryouts. And then, I fell in love with the game ever since. But, yeah, I come from a family of 3 sisters. I'm the only boy. My mom and dad are still together, still close. So, yeah, I've always been a family guy and a family-oriented guy and always a ambitious and goal-oriented guy because I got my sisters around me, so I think they looked at me as like that second father figure in the home when, my dad isn't home or little things like that. So, yeah, I always grew up around sports because my older sister played basketball in her high school days, and then also, just kind of grew up around sports, and then, just ended up in Oregon, so.
How long do you think that was?
It was pretty short.
It was short. Minute 12.
Pretty short. Minute 12.
Minute 12. So, you've got another almost 50 seconds. The table's yours. Whatever you need to say, whatever you want to say, or you're done.
All right. So, a little bit about me.
Yeah,
I'm a huge
there we go.
We'll add 50 more seconds. I'm a huge
Resume.
I'm a huge fashion influencer type of guy. I like fashion a lot. If a lot of you people follow me on Instagram, but yeah, you can kind of see that from just my view, second view standpoint. And then hanging out with my teammates a lot. I'm a very team oriented guy. A lot of the guys see me as a leader on a team. So yeah, I like just being with my teammates in and outside the facility. So that's a little bit more.
Okay, so it's funny that you mention the fashion aspect. Because this is what Marcus Harper asked you about. Right. So, okay, if you missed it from Media Day, Jeff was kind enough to have a little fun with us. Marcus Harper, instead of asking for the 2-minute life story, Marcus wanted the 2-minute story of how you became a fashion influencer. So here's what happened on the show. Take a look.
All right, no. Give me a 2-minute story. All right, we're going to throw a curveball here. 2-minute story of when you started really putting those fits together. Like, when was the first thing that you looked at and was like, okay, I can do this? And then let's talk about the progression of El Jefe's drip. Let's do it. Come on.
All right. Okay.
All right, ready? You got a timer? Ready? 3, 2, 1.
All right. So it started my junior year of high school is when I really started getting, like, pairs of Jordans and stuff like that. I think my first pair of Jordan was the Jordan 1 CP3s. Mm-hmm. So – yeah, growing up, I never really had, like, you know, money to afford, like, Jordans and, you know, all the, like, KDs and stuff like that that were coming out. So, yeah, that was my first pair of Jordan was the CP3s. And then from then on, my senior year of high school, I started getting into more stuff because I started seeing on the media, like, guys like Stephon Diggs, guys like, you know, Devin Booker, and little things like that, you know, the pregame fits and stuff like that that you see in the league nowadays. So, you know, I just got heavily motivated by that, and so I came into Eugene my freshman year. Yeah. You know, started getting paid a little bit, you know, stipend and stuff like that. So, you know, once I started seeing money on my account, I was like, you know what, you know, mom's not here no more. I can get shoes. So I think the first pair of shoes I bought when I got to college was like the pine green ones. You know, because the green and black, I like the green and black. I like it. I had to go Bred 4s and stuff like that. But, yeah, heading into the more clothing aspect and standpoint, I think that just was all motivated from guys in the league and stuff like that. You know, I want to prepare myself so for when I get there, it's not new to me. So,
How'd you do?
Thought I did pretty good.
Yeah, I did too. Good work. Well done. Yes, well done. Here's what's amazing. When you get someone going on something they're interested in, your 2-minute life story was only a little bit longer than your 2-minute how you became a fashion influencer story.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yep, I think it is too.
You're passionate.
Right.
Okay, the greatest fit you've ever put together is what?
Oh, wow. Oof. Damn, why you doing me like that?
You want to think about it? We can come back to this.
We'll come back to it.
We'll come back to it. All right. From your 2-minute life story, who's the best athlete in your family?
Best athlete, I would for sure have to say I'll go older sister.
Older sister? And are you number 2?
Yeah, I'll go number 2.
Okay.
I'll put myself as number 2.
And then are you the second oldest also? Does it just follow the
yeah, so I have one older and 2 younger.
All right. Yeah. What about the 2 younger? I mean, they in the competition?
They're not. So the 2 younger, so one of them tried dancing a little bit, but she didn't really like it a lot. And then the youngest one still is very young, so
we'll see what happens then. Yeah. You know, the jury's still out on that point. You mentioned being a family guy, Jeff. I mean, just what was it like growing up in your family? Where'd that kind of compassion come from for each other?
Yeah. Well, both of my parents are from the west coast of Africa, so they're both from Ghana. So I think just the culture that they brought over because my older sister was born in Africa, and then I was born in the U.S. So I think just the culture that they brought over from Africa, you know, just being family-oriented and always family first, you know what I mean? So I think it literally comes down to just how they were raised and, you know, how all the culture that was brought over.
Ah, that's awesome. I didn't know that. Have you gotten a chance to go?
I have, yeah. I've been there twice when I was very young, so I don't remember a lot.
You're going to make it back then?
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
That's awesome. So if you weren't playing football, you'd be playing basketball? That's what I'm gathering?
Basketball or running track. Yeah,
really?
Basketball and running track. Because I did run track in high school too. Right. So
that makes sense. Yeah. From Salt Lake City, that's what it says on the roster. Tell us about growing up in Salt Lake City. Any favorite memories from growing up in SLC?
Yeah, just a little bit. You know, with the University of Utah being like 12 minutes down the road, you know, going to some of their games a lot at the time, and then also just, you know, I went to a high school, Kearns High School, and it's in West Valley City. So I went to a high school where not a lot of people were recruited, and, you know, not a lot of people went D1. So I think, you know, just me sticking to my grind and staying, you know, 10 toes down and just always being ready to work. So when my opportunity came for when those offers started coming in, I thought that was a good, you know, thing for the city, but then also good for me and my family. So I wanted to motivate the people around me that you don't have to go to these big, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like,
Like a big-time powerhouse high
yeah,
school.
like a powerhouse high
Yeah.
school, and you can do it
You can
here
do
in
it.
your own city. So yeah, I think just motivating the city, and then also finding opportunities for me and myself.
That's awesome. When did you first get? Because you have like multiple nicknames technically. I mean, people call you Jeff, Hefe. Am I missing any? I mean, how many nicknames do you have at this point?
Jeff, Hefe, El Hefe.
El Hefe, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Jeff
Okay.
or El Hefe is what I refer to.
So, like, when did that stick? And did you have any influencing factor in what your nickname would be, or were you a true definition of, no, your nickname is given to you, you don't get to choose it?
Yeah, so my nickname actually developed in high school. Yeah. It was, I think it was my junior or senior year of high school. My head coach started calling me El Jefe because I was seen as that leader, that guy. A lot of people looked up to me. So, yeah, I came into my freshman year at Oregon. I told people that my name was El Jefe, and they were like, they thought it was kind of funny because, El Jefe means boss. So, yeah, they were like.
With your last name, it fits, though.
Right, it does.
I mean, it works.
It does,
It
yeah.
works.
And so, like, some of my teammates were funny about it. Like, Steve Stevens, I remember, and Jamal Hill were kind of, like, funny about it. Like, you got to earn that name, you know what I mean? Like, we can't just be calling you boss and, you know what I mean, you haven't even stepped on the field. So, yeah, I was like, okay, I took that as a challenge, and I earned the name and I earned the respect of my teammates. So,
to that point, like, you talked a couple times now about being a leader. Does that come natural for you, or do you have to kind of work at it, that leadership aspect?
Yeah, I think it comes natural, and just the way that I work and, the way that I can influence my teammates to work hard.
Sure. Now, a lot of guys have talked about this over the course of the year, that in college football, we're seeing more and more go through the same journey as you, moving into the box from the defensive backfield. Take us through that if you could. Some of your teammates have done it now, too. I mean, I'm always fascinated with some of the changes you have to go through to be a versatile player like yourself. I'm sure you pride yourself on that a little bit.
No doubt. Yeah, for sure. So it was actually my freshman year here. I came in as a safety. I was playing that star position, kind of that rover position. So, and I came in as like the biggest safety. We always joked about it in the meeting room. Jeff's one cheeseburger away from moving into the box. So little things like that like I shout out like Verone and Bennett and stuff like that for. So, yeah. I mean, it was week 2. We were going into the shoe, and Coach Ken Wilson at the time was a linebacker coach, and so we had some injuries go down in the linebacker room, and so the opportunity was there for me, and I took that opportunity with open arms, and I was like, okay, since I'm already the biggest safety, why not go into this backer room, taking the knowledge that I know from the safety room, and use it to the best of my abilities.
How much has that helped you being a linebacker because you have that experience at safety? Like, multiple positions and have all those skill sets now.
Yeah, I think it's just simply knowing where my help is, and then also knowing what the DBs are doing in the background as well, and then also being able to cover tight ends, running backs, receivers. It's not a huge problem for me.
Well, I was going to ask you too about the off-season conditioning program this past year. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but like the day that the heights and weights come out on a football roster, that's like a big day for the fan base. Yeah. Everyone's like, okay, who gained the most? Well, you were one of the big gainers. That had to be a focus for you in the off-season program.
Yes, sir. It for sure was. Yeah, and after postseason last season, me, Coach Lanning, and Coach Lupoy sat down and talked about it. I needed to get bigger. So I played, I think I played at 212, around 212 last year, which was, very unserious to me, and I wasn't confident in myself and my body. So, to prepare myself for this big year that I think I'm going to have, you know what I mean? So I had to get my body right, and, mentally I had to tell myself that, if I want to get ready for the next level and then also, have this great year that I'm going to have, I've got to change my body. So that's what I dedicated myself to do.
Takes a lot of willpower. Well done.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get a timeout. We're going to come back. I'm going to come back to the question about your favorite fit.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Now you've had some time to think. You got a break coming up.
All right.
Jeffrey Bassa is here. El Jefe.
Yes, sir.
If I can. Have I earned it?
Yes,
like
sir.
I can say it?
You've earned it. Yes, sir.
We've made it. We've made it. We're coming back. More of the Coaches Show after this with Jeffrey Bassa on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
More Duck football comes your way in 60 seconds.
Turns and gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Oregon. Touchdown, Ducks.
On the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too. Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back on the Toyota Coaches Show, Jeffrey Bassa, our guest today, and doing a great job. Well done so far. I mean, we were just talking during the break that, like, the interviewer is only as good as the interviewee. It's nice when I can just sit back and have a conversation. So thanks for that.
Yes, sir. No
I
doubt.
appreciate it.
No doubt.
Now, question from a fan, Alex asking, are you going to have a lot of family at the game against Utah? Imagine that you are.
I will. I will indeed. A lot of family and friends. I'll probably need about 15 or so tickets. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a big crowd for me.
So hopefully some of your brothers on the team can help out with ticket. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for
okay.
sure.
Yeah, that's what you guys do, right? Like, yeah. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm sure you've been asked this before, but I'm going to ask you again. Why did you choose Oregon? Like, of all the I go through and read, bios, make sure that I know as much as I can. Like, I would have to unfurl a scroll of all the schools that recruited you, and you chose Oregon. Why was that?
I chose Oregon because I wanted to, I knew Oregon was just different out of all the schools that offered me, and I also, I believed in the coaches that were recruiting me as well, and I also believed in the history that Oregon had. Just being not even just nationwide, but a worldwide brand, and then also just the football. So, I know we don't have any national championships, but I feel like we can bring one in this year, and I think we're going to compete at the highest level for it. So, and I just the players around it too. The players were I really fell in love with the players too. Some of the guys were even recruiting me, so it wasn't even just all coaches recruiting me. It was just players, and it was all family oriented, just like I said in the past. Me being a family oriented guy, and then also just the opportunity that I had. A lot of the guys in the NFL coming from Oregon, going into the NFL. So,
with that in mind, with family being such a big piece of it, like now that you're an older guy, how do you go about, I guess, cultivating that ideal again? Like, are you one of those guys now that's on these recruiting trips, being that sort of family recruiter? I don't know. That's got to be a cool thing for you coming full circle a little bit.
Yeah, some of the guys that come in on the weekends, like during these recruiting periods,
right.
I think it was
don't say any names. I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Oh, okay, all right. But yeah. So some of the guys that just come, I just show up, show them love, and I tell them what it's really about. How we're family oriented, and then also
that's cool.
Our DNA traits. So
yeah, that's cool. The reason that I said that so that everyone who is unfamiliar, because it's a compliance thing. You know the drill.
Yeah.
Compliance is important.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Okay. I always ask this to guys that are veterans, and I'm going to consider you a veteran now. What advice would you give to 17-year-old Jeff Bassa? Like, what would you tell yourself if you could give yourself some advice if you had the chance to?
With the knowledge that I do know now?
Yeah.
That patience and ambition will take you a long way in life. You know,
that's wise.
If you just keep working on your certain craft and your certain whatever you want to get better at, with also having patience at that will take you a long way.
That was well done. Well done.
Yeah.
You had to think about that. I mean, that was good.
Yeah.
I'm writing that one down. I just want you to know, like, there's gonna. So I asked that to everybody really on this show, because it's amazing sometimes what you would tell yourself, you know, if you had the chance to. All right, you talked a little bit about family. I'm going to ask you about your coaches now.
Okay.
What's the dynamic like? Take us inside a coach's meeting. Take us inside a practice. Like, fans, we always want to know what that's like. What's it like working with these coaches that you're getting a chance to play for?
Yeah, the coaches this year, the coaching staff is really connected this year. You know, coaches can always, you know, some days they'll get on each other, but most of the days they're, you know, you can just feel the love in the building from the players to the coaches. So, you know, going out to a typical day of practice, you know, you're gonna have Coach Lanning out there first, you know, waiting for the guys,
and on a microphone, by the way.
Yeah,
he's running around with the handheld microphone.
Loves the microphone. So yeah, loves the microphone. But yeah, like. The coaches, you can just literally you can talk to them about literally anything, you know, whether it's, you know, things that are going on at home, you know, things you can get better at, you know, guys they've coached in the past, you know, little things like that, you know, picking up little nuggets from them. And, you know, I truly appreciate this coaching staff for that.
Texas Tech, what's the scouting report? What do you guys need to do against them?
Yeah, so defensively they have you know, they're running an air raid offense, so, you know, a very fast and quick tempo offense. So, you know, that's something that we've been preparing for throughout this week, because very different offense than last week. So, yeah, we've just been, you know, ready for the challenge.
Yeah, I feel like in the evolution of college football back to being versatile, you know, as a linebacker, you're asked to cover a lot more space than you were, 10, 15 years ago. I mean, that's got to be a key this week, I'd imagine, for your group.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, with especially all the, you know, some of the good running backs that they have, and then also some of the good receivers they have as well.
Keys to success this season, you know, I know that's a tough question to answer in sort of a general way, but what's it going to take to get where you guys want to be this year?
As a team or just like defensively?
As a team.
As a team? Okay.
Defensively, I don't know, both. You go where you want, you know?
Both?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me start off as a team. As a team, we've just got to, you know, we can't let the last play affect the next play. You know, if we have a bad play, you know, the previous snap, we can't let that affect our next play and our next play mentality. So that's something that we've been working on in the offseason, is just, you know, forgetting about the next play, because the next play could be a very good explosive play. So, and then defensively we've just got a relentless effort, you know, and we've got to take the ball away more this year. That's something that we did good last year, was interception. So, you know, just punching and ripping the ball out and little things like that, just flying to the ball, having 11 hands to the ball.
All right, lastly, your best fit.
My best fit. All right. Back to the best fit.
You had time to think, and I know that's a tough question. I know.
Okay.
Just look at his Instagram, and trust me, tough question. That's probably the hardest question I'm going to ask anybody all year.
All right. Okay. I won't pick a certain pair of Jordans, but I'll probably say
See, I know. See, now I'm starting to think, like, this is an unfair question, because I didn't even tell you, like, what are you doing in this, you know? Like,
okay, we'll probably go, like, some Jordan 1s. Is this like a dinner fit, or is this kind of just
let's go with that. That seems like a good place to go from here.
Okay. Actually, we'll switch it up. We'll go Jordan 3s.
Okay.
We'll go Jordan 3s. You know, maybe some purple jeans. It's like the brand purple, not some like bright purple jeans. So
yeah,
the brand,
you're a duck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll go purple brand jeans, and then maybe a T-shirt to match the color of the Jordans.
There it is.
Just a little accent, and then a little piece of jewelry on the left, maybe 2 bracelets or something like that, and then obviously the Hefe chain. Gotta bring that out.
Right.
And then maybe some glasses.
Okay.
If I'm feeling very distinctive. So.
He just put that together completely on the spot.
Yeah.
I mean, so when you're done playing football, fashion consultant.
100%. I think so.
Okay.
100%.
Great.
Yes, sir.
Then I'm gonna keep your number, so that because I'm gonna need that.
Holla at me if you need me.
Yeah. Thank
Holla
you.
at me if you need me.
Jeffrey Bassa, ladies and gentlemen. Jeff, thanks for being here.
No
really
doubt.
appreciate you taking the time. I know you guys are busy, and we really appreciate it. Thanks for letting us get to know you a little bit.
No doubt. Thank you.
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
We're going to time out, come back. Jerry and Jorgie will finish things up, and I don't know, we'll talk about football on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays. The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Amethyst and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Toyota Coaches Show. We have picks to do this. Oh, no. That was the
Fortunately, we do not.
Yeah.
But you know who's in first place?
You.
That's right.
Now I'm sorry I brought it up. My bad. My
Yes,
bad.
sir.
Oh, man.
I got 10 correct picks.
Did you really?
Yeah. Good week for me.
Did you go with the pack pretty much all the way?
Yes,
Almost.
he did. You said you were going to.
Yeah, I backed the pack.
Yeah.
Look, I want the pack to win a lot of games this year for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Me too.
No, I do too. I want to make a statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to make a statement.
Yeah, I think I was happy with backing
I
the
better
pack.
be careful. I'm going to say something more here. It's going to get myself
there's
in
2 or
trouble.
3 teams. That
Yeah. It was nice.
every once in a while.
Yeah, okay.
We're going to learn more about the pack. The pack had a good week, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. Like the pack,
Undefeated.
including Oregon, the pack had a great week.
Yeah.
Great start. But this week,
Another
similar
opportunity.
to Oregon, it's
Yeah.
another opportunity. Yeah, I mean, keep earning it, right? I'm excited for this game, guys. You know, it feels odd. It's been 2 years since Oregon has had a non-conference road game. It didn't have one last year. So the last time that Oregon went on the road for a non-conference game was Ohio State.
Ohio State, the shoe.
Yeah.
I remember 1992 in Lubbock.
I was wondering if because you guys have been there.
Yeah.
I have not been to Lubbock.
And it wasn't a bad memory, obviously, with the Ducks winning that ball
Right.
game. But still, I don't remember, it being hot and muggy. I mean, no, it was, just
Oregon's
another game.
2-0 all time against them.
I could
Only
just
2
remember
meetings.
the tradition. It just was neat to see
Yeah,
the
it
tradition
is.
of the league down
Yeah.
there. And
Yeah.
all I remember is just Ronnie Harris running wild on him, wide receiver, catching, and just he was
Is
fast.
that this week in Duck football history? Is that what you're
I
going
don't
to
know.
do this week? Oh.
Well, I don't know if we can. Yeah, I might.
Might be a good
I know we
start.
can't. I know we can't get any audio highlights, so I'm always a little hesitant. So
That game was played before I was born. So I do not have.
Why do you have to say that?
Because I need.
Why does he
I
have
gotta
to
justify why we don't have the highlights.
Where's my cane? Where's my cane?
yeah.
I didn't say that.
No, I know you didn't. But it's just that's crazy.
This is a big
it
game.
is crazy though.
Yeah,
Really,
it's a big game. You know, these non-conference road games for Oregon, for the Pac-12, for reputation, whatever. Right. It's a big deal.
Well, we can't talk about the end of the year, all right? But for the end of the year to mean anything, this is a big game.
Yeah, agreed.
And this is a team. I know they stumbled last week, but I'll tell you what, I worry a little bit about Texas Tech because this is a good football team, and they don't lose at home.
No,
they don't lose at home.
They are tough at home.
So 4:00 our time, West Coast.
That's right.
2:00 pregame show. Gonna be warm. Gonna be
Nah.
Yeah, no, it's not even. We just came out of 95 to 100-degree temperatures in Eugene where we have humidity. We're fine.
The sun will be going down there when the game's going on.
True.
That's true.
6 o'clock.
That is
local.
true.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be an opportunity for Oregon fans to find out really just Oregon, what Oregon has, and I think they got a lot. All right, you guys ready to go?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Jordan James, Connor Soley, Will Stein, pregame show guest this week.
Good.
Whoa, looking forward to that. All right, don't forget, 2 o'clock pregame show. Join us, listen to all the interviews, and all we have, get you ready for the game this Saturday, all right? Go Ducks.
This has been the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield. Presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Tonight's show has also been brought to you by Country Financial Insurance. Protect what matters. And by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks. Drink Pepsi. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.